Notice that we can now select our shape layer and we can create something called a smart object. And by creating these smart objects, not only would we be able to duplicate them, we would be able to edit one button, and this would edit all the buttons at one point in time. And then we would just go ahead and create text over each individual button. So to do this, we would first select the shape. We would right click and select Group into a Smart Object. Notice this becomes shape 1, and I'll just call this the button, and I'll call this dash P for products. I can choose to select the layer, right click, and choose to duplicate it. Do it once more, and once more. And if I choose to move this, understand that we would have the same object and button that we created in the previous tutorial. So with that, let's select the button P and the products, hold down the control key, and move this over to the left hand side, and I can move it down to the bottom. We can also see that I can select this button, move it to the left hand side, the next one, move this here to the bottom, and then the next one over to the right. However, we understand that these buttons are a little bit too big and they don't fit on my document. But not to worry, we can edit the button itself. To do this, we would first select the original button and double click. This brings up the layer styles. However, I want to edit the actual smart object. I could right click and choose to edit the contents. This will bring up the button that we have inside of our workspace, and we'll view the button. What we want to do is hit the Control T to create the transformation, and we're going to simply click and drag this down. Also, at the top, we understand that we have our transforms, and we're going to type in 50 pixels here. We want to keep this centered, so we'll type in 55. Notice we could also have the width and the height transformation. So let's just type in 85% for both. Apply the transformation and then move it back into the center, and File, Save. What this will do, this will update all the buttons within my button nav document and understand it that all 4 of my buttons have become smaller. And now I'd need to simply move my button and position it appropriately. So I'll hold down the Shift key, select the remaining buttons and align these to the top, and distribute these. I'll select my products text and the button P, and I'll move this over to the left hand side. I'll move the button over to the left and the remaining buttons over to the left until this button pretty much touches the edge. With that, I can now again Shift select, align these to the top, and distribute to horizontal centers. This will even out the buttons, and I'll move my buttons downwards. Select the products text, and I'll move it downwards as well, and over to the left, just a tad. Now I would be able to create more text such as news, move it to the center of the button, about us, again move it inside of the button, and contact us. Notice contact us is a little bit too big. What we would be able to do is to edit the text just slightly to 17 points, and we can barely see a difference. Of course, if we want, we could also apply this to the remaining text. That way everything is the same, exactly. And I'll just go ahead and quickly do this. 17. And the About Us 17. So again, if we choose to edit our smart object, right-clicking and selecting the Edit Contents, what we'll do is look at the shape and we'll add in a new layer effect. And I'm just going to select the satin here. Notice the new effect being applied. We're going to edit the angle to 45, and we're going to edit the color to a white, and we're going to keep this at normal. And notice this will create a nice little line here. However, how will this look with the text being white? So we gotta keep that in mind, and we'll just darken this up a little bit. We can choose to go to a dark black. We could also choose to go to a red to see how this will look. However, I'll keep this at black and click OK. Keep the opacity at 50 and the distance and size at 11 and 14. Click OK. Choose to save, and then view the new button inside of our button nav. We'll now go up to the File menu, Save As, and we'll call this the Button Nav Smart Objects.